Good morning, everybody. I'm speaking a little bit more quietly today because it is actually 2 in the morning and the neighbours are probably asleep. I want to make a video though talking about what I think everybody, especially in places like the UK, should be most focused on in the minute, because you guys will know I've been making a lot of content on the cost of living crisis, as it's been named, that we're seeing here in the UK, that a lot of people are seeing, especially in Western Europe, and obviously North America as well. I've been making a lot of content on that for a number of reasons. Number one, is something that affects me, you, and everybody else. Number two, it's interesting to hear other people's opinions and reactions to what I say. And number three, hands up, I hold my hands up. I'm a content creator and I am going to make content on what does best, and those videos seem to do well at the minute. Anyway, I want to talk now not about the issues in this episode, but more about a potential solution, because we have been speaking about the problem a lot. But you get to a point where it's like, okay, so the cost of living is high, what is the actual solution? Now that's a very hard question, because to have an answer that suits everyone is difficult without giving a huge umbrella term. And in this video I'm going to give a bit of umbrella information. I know it sounds a bit indirect, but all will be explained. Now first I want to acknowledge that it's still very easy and very possible to do well in the traditional system. If that's what you want, you can make a good life for yourself here in the UK. Inexcusably a fact. And I will not listen to anybody who says it's not true, because you can. You may have to do things differently, but there's certain markets and careers that pay exceptionally well in this part of the world, and that's why this country still attracts global talent. With that being said, it's also undeniable that the cost of living is rising. Rents are increasing, salaries are not. Inflation's going up. A real difficult situation that most people find themselves in. And how do we think about acknowledging this, fixing this for ourselves? I think there is only one solution, and I know it sounds very broad, but I will explain. I think your number one focus, as mine is, should be on simply getting more money. Now that might sound like obviously, that is my focus. But then you start to dig deeper and you realise for a lot of people that it's actually not as much of a focus for them as they seem to think it is. And what I mean by that is this: we all see that we're obsessed with money, focused on money, but how seriously are we taking getting it now? Now let me talk about why first there is a sense of urgency, right? I'm not necessarily saying that building a career or a long-term future is a bad thing, but in my opinion, it wouldn't be the immediate aim or goal. And the reason for that is a simple one. Look, we're living in the global age. Look at how fast things are changing. The internet and the power that it brings has the ability to change world dynamics, right? It really does. So, and also there's other changes in the world. So at the minute we're seeing countries like China seeing economic boom. We're seeing certain other countries coming up in terms of standard of life, catching up with some, rich nations. We're seeing some rich nations potentially have a fall in living standards, right? Things are changing, things always change, things always have changed, but we're seeing it now, probably for the first time at such a standard in a long time. We're seeing that the standard of life in places like the UK appears to be dropping for the average person. Having money right now gives you two opportunities. Number one is to actually buy into the assets that are setting the rich up to get richer, whether that is investing in properties, crypto, stocks, or other investments that I might not know and you guys might, or maybe neither of us know it. They have the ability to invest, and that's what money can do, right? Also, having more money gives you the immediate access to gain more money. And what I mean by that is this: if I have got a lot of savings, I can see an opportunity in the market. If there's a housing crash, whether it's housing or stocks, look at the highs on houses price-wise, look at the highs on stocks price-wise. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's not impossible, is it? I have the money to invest. Also, it grants me a degree of freedom and an ability to chase money a different way. You know, if I have a lot of savings, let's say 6 months worth of living costs built up, can I now move potentially to a different part of the country, a different part of the world? What will that mean for my standard of life, my living quality? Likely it will mean an increase in quality. You have a greater ability to move about. Also, you have a buffer time to think. The trouble with, especially the UK, seems to be, people are very much living paycheck to paycheck. People are very much chasing not sports cars and mansions, but the ability to just pay the bills. In a world like that, you don't have much time to think, because you have to always be at work. When you get some free time and get some spare capital, you have the ability to potentially cut working hours down, maybe go half-time at work or part-time. And that brings in the potential to spend time focusing on businesses, making half of your money for yourself or more, maybe making more than you could in your job by yourself. It gives you a lot more opportunities. Now, a lot of people focus on making a lot of money, but don't actually retain any of it. And here's also another thing. People focus on making money long term, right? And I know it's a term, isn't it? The whole get rich quick scheme. Now, generally, anything that means that you get rich quick probably has a catch of some sort. Whether you have to get yourself in debt to leverage assets, whether you are simply getting scammed, or something like that. It usually has a catch. But with that being said, for myself, and I'm not giving advice on this topic, I am probably only going to live for between, at best 70 to 100 years. So I haven't really got time to get rich slow. And it's not even about getting rich, it's about getting the ability to leverage opportunities. The average person who might think they got a good salary and a good amount of money coming in, realistically, if you analyse what they've got, they're broke. They don't have the time, they don't have the money, they don't have the ability. And in a world that's changing as rapidly as this one is, that's almost unviable. I think everyone's biggest opportunity is coming. In my personal opinion, I think the cost of living is high right now, everything's expensive, but here's the thing. If you can get ahead financially with some savings, you get to choose. You are not going to be dragged along by life in the same way that someone who has no money will be. They don't have a choice really. They are going to get dragged along by the markets. If the UK starts to tank economically, they're going to have to stay. If other countries start to boom, they don't have the means to move there or get there or even buy a plane ticket, right? Leverage your opportunities. And money is probably the most immediate, most easily kind of tangible asset, in the sense that everyone accepts money. It's something that's quantifiable, and it's something that genuinely will make a quality of life improvement. I think everyone's main aim should be getting money in as safe as a way as possible, but quick. Because the future that we're seeing right now, you know, we're looking at inflation figures sometimes in the double digits, mid to high singles at the very best. People's wages aren't keeping up. Certain countries offer a cheaper quality of life. Certain countries offer a better quality of life for more money, but you need the money to get there. Even if you want to live in the UK, right, that's fine. Or not even the UK, if you want to live in the US or whatever expensive country you might be watching this from, that's fine. But these countries are expensive, and you need to get a stake in the ground to actually have an established life there, or else life is very miserable, I think. And that's why I think everyone's aim should be just trying to build up the cash quickly, especially in today's market, whilst they can. Thank you guys, and I hope I'll see you soon. Goodbye.